Hello and welcome to I Student. I Student segment is for students who opt their topic, do their research and present them in front of our audience. So today let's call Binu Singh, who is from KES Shri Jayantilal H. Patel Law College, who is going to enlighten us on her research topic, that is socialistic and a novel feature of the Constitution, directive principle of state policy. So let's welcome Binu Singh.
Hello everyone, myself Binu Singh and would like to take on today's topic, that is DPSP, which stands for Directive Principles of State Policy. So firstly, let us know what is DPSP. So these are guidelines outlined in Part 4 of the Constitution, specifically in Article 36 to Article 51, which aims to create a welfare state in India. They are essentially a set of instructions for the government to follow when making laws and policies focusing on social and economic justice for all citizens. The directive principles of state policy in Indian Constitution were inspired by the Irish Constitution of 1937. The directive principles of state policies are not legally enforceable by courts, but making them non-justiciable means that these principles are not legally enforceable by courts. Unlike fundamental rights, which individuals can directly invoke in court to protect their rights, DPSP serves as guidelines for the directly invoke in court to protect their rights, whereas DPSP serves as guidelines for the government to create laws and policies, but they cannot be mandated by the judiciary. So if the government fails to implement or uphold a particular DPSP, citizens cannot file a lawsuit to compel the state to comply. The legislative process is generally viewed as better equipped to handle the complexities associated with implementing directive principles due to its transparency and accountability. Often, these principles explicitly call for the enactment of laws that promote specific values, such as the legislature has enacted the Legal Service Authority Act 1987 for free legal aid provided in Article 39A, the Maternity Benefit Act 1961 for maternity benefit under Article 42. So basically, DPSP is divided into three parts. First is socialistic principles, second is Gandhian principle, third is liberal and intellectual principles. So let's see what it includes. Socialistic principles aims at providing economic and social justice to set the path towards. It includes Article 38, 39, 39A, 41, 42, 43, 43A and 47. Gandhian principle is based on Gandhian ideology and used to pre-present program of reconstruction initiated by Gandhiji during national movement. It includes Article 40, 43, 43B, 46, 47 and 48. Another, liberal and intellectual principles. They reflect the ideology of liberalism. It includes Article 45, 44, 48, 49, 50 and 51. So let's talk detailed part about the articles. Article 36 of the Constitution defines state. It states that the term state in Part 4 of the Constitution has the same meaning in the Part 3 of the Constitution. It involves in Article 12 of the Part 3, which covers fundamental rights. This means that the state includes the government and the Parliament of India, the government and legislature of each state, and all local and other authorities within the territory of India and under the control of the Indian government. Article 37 says that these principles are deemed fundamental in the governance of the country when making laws. In essence, while individuals cannot sue the government to enforce DPSP, the government is expected to use them as guidelines when formulating policies and laws. Article 38 of the Indian Constitution says that it focuses on the state's duty to promote the welfare of the people by securing a social order that ensures social, economic and political justice. Article 39 states principles of policies that needs to be followed by state. Directs the state to ensure economic justice and prevent wealth concentration by securing rights to adequate livelihood, equal pay and child protection. Article 39A of the Indian Constitution mandates that the state to ensure equal justice and free legal aid for all citizens, particularly those economically and otherwise disadvantaged. Article 40 of the Indian Constitution mandates that the state shall take steps to organize village panchayat and endure them with the necessary powers to function as units of self-government. Article 41 of the Indian Constitution states that within the limits of the economic capacity and development, make effective provisions for securing the right to work, to education and to public assistance in cases of unemployment, old age, sickness and disablement, and in other cases of undeserved want. Article 42 of the Indian Constitution mandates that the state shall make provisions for securing just and humane condition of work and for maternity relief. Article 43 of the Indian Constitution directs that the state to ensure a living wage and a decent condition of work for all workers, including those in agriculture and industrial sectors. Article 43A of the Constitution, inserted by 42nd Amendment Act 1976, mandates that the state should take steps to ensure the participation of workers in the management of industries. Article 43B, added by 97th Amendment Act 2011, directs the state to promote the voluntary formation, autonomous functioning, democratic control and professional management of cooperative societies. Article 44 directs the state to try hard to secure uniform civil code for all citizens throughout the territory of India. This means that the government should work towards creating a common set for law governing personal matters like marriage, divorce, inheritance and adoption for all citizens regardless of their religion. Article 45 of the Indian Constitution initially focuses on free and compulsory education for children up to 14 years old, was significantly amended by 86th Amendment Act 2002. The amendment shifted the focus to early childhood care and education for children under 6 years of old, while also inserting Article 21A, free and compulsory education for children aged 6 to 14, a fundamental right. Article 46 of the Indian Constitution promotes the educational and economic interest of weaker sections of the society, particularly scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. So after this, the amendment came, 65th Amendment, and it stated to have a commission, national commission for both the tribes. Then in Article 89 Amendment Act 2003, it bifurcated the commission into two different parts, National Commission for Scheduled Tribes and National Commission for Scheduled Castes. Article 47 of the Constitution focuses on the duty of the state to raise the level of nutrition and the standard of living and to improve public health. Article 48 deals with the organization of agriculture and animal husbandry, specifically directs the state to modernize the scientific organize these sectors with a focus on preserving and improving livestock breeds, particularly cows, calves and other milch, and prohibiting their slaughter. Article 48A of the Indian Constitution, which was added by 42nd Amendment 1976, mandates that the state shall endeavour to protect and improve the environment and safeguard forest and wildlife. Article 49 says that the state protects monuments, places and objects of national importance, particularly those declared by Parliament. This protection extends to safeguard them from spoliation, disfigurement, destruction, removal, disposal or export. Article 50 mandates that the states needs to take steps to separate the judiciary from the executive in public services. Article 51 of the Indian Constitution, found in Part 4, focuses on promotion of international peace and security. It directs the state to endeavour to promote international peace and security, to maintain just and honourable relation between nations, foster respects and international law and treaty obligations, encourage the settlements of international disputes by arbitration. Article 51A outlines the fundamental duties of the Indian citizens. These duties were added to the Constitution through 46th Amendment Act in 1976, inspired by the Constitution of USSR and later expanded by the 86th Amendment in 2002. The article comprises 11 fundamental duties, emphasizing the moral obligation of citizens towards the nation and societies. These duties are considered as a code of moral precepts for citizens, promoting patriotism, harmony and unity. They highlight the reciprocal relationship between rights and duties, emphasizing the citizens should not only enjoy their fundamental rights but also fulfill their responsibilities towards the nation. So, the first duty says that we have to abide by the Constitution and respect its ideals and institution, national flag and national anthem, which is mentioned in Article 51A. In Article 51AB, we need to cherish and follow the noble ideas which inspired our Indian freedom struggle. Third one is to uphold and protect the sovereignty, unity, integrity of India. The fourth duty is to defend the country and render national service when called upon to do so. The fifth duty is, that is Article 51AE, to promote harmony and the spirit of common brotherhood amongst all the people of India, transcending religion, linguistic and regional or sectional diversities, to renounce practices derogatory and to dignity of women. Article 51AF, to value and preserve the rich heritage of our composite culture. The seventh duty, that is Article 51AG, to value, the protect and improve the natural environment including forest, lake, rivers and wildlife, and to have compassion for living creatures. The eighth duty, that is Article 51AH, to develop the scientific temper, humanism and spirit of inquiry and reform. Article 51AI, that is ninth duty, to safeguard public property and to abjure violence. The 10th duty, 51AJ, to strive towards excellence in all spheres of individuals and collective activity so that the nation constantly rises to higher level of endeavor and achievement. Last but not the least, 11th duty, that is 51AK, it's a duty of the parent or guardian to provide opportunities for education to his child, as the case may be, between the age of 6 to 14 years, which was added by 86th Amendment Act 2002. So let's discuss the difference between fundamental rights and fundamental duties. So talking about this enforceability, fundamental rights are enforceable whereas fundamental duties are not enforceable, that is, they are not justiciable. Now, nature. The nature of the fundamental rights are negative while the nature of the DPSP are positive. The legal status of fundamental rights are fundamental to the Constitution, whereas DPSPs are guidelines for state policy. That's it. Thank you.
Binu, thank you very much. A nice explanation you had given as to fundamental rights which can be taken in courts and fundamental rights which cannot be taken in courts. So it was a nice overview of this entire directive principle of state policy. Thank you very much. A small token from Hammurabi to you.